Sam Logue here for IrishBoxing.com. Joined by Thomas Carty. Delighted. I should say delighted, but I kind of shouldn't as well. Bleeding melter. Always wrecking me head. What's the story, Tom?
All good, bro. All good.
Yeah,
all good.
Good stuff. Good to see you, man.
I'm looking as good as ever, obviously. You know what I mean?
We panned down, didn't we? You're making the headlines again recently. You're out sparring Tyson Fury. I mean, there's no really better place to start than that. So tell us about that. Was it a short notice kind of thing?
No, I knew about it. We was sparring with Fury. It was a great experience. I know. I did a week with him, fantastic experience, and I think gained a great amount of knowledge, an awful lot of knowledge. You know, I've done some six-week camps with some people. I get more knowledge in that 1 week to use in my own career than I have in some others. You know what I mean? So it was a very valuable experience for me.
Yeah, I'd say it was class. Is there anything in particular that you picked up from Tyson Fury? Like, obviously he's a little bit different as a heavyweight, isn't he?
Yeah, I love the fact that, you know, some people spend 4 hours in the gym when they go boxing. Tyson Fury in and out, hour and 20 minutes, hour and a half, you know what I mean? But it's the intensity that he trains at. You know, not a second is wasted. You know, and his fitness is unbelievable. You're like, usually we're using up our minutes rest. He's just raring to go again for the next round, you know what I mean? So that's the big difference, you know.
In terms of skill set, and did you kind of pick up any tips of like how to train or what he does in terms of practicing the skills and stuff like that?
Yeah. This is probably a bit intricate to be saying in an interview, but sometimes when you're on the bag, people might not get this unless they box, and you're doing, say, a burst. You kind of throw caution to the wind in terms of technique. With him, everything is always technique first, and technique then intensity, you know what I mean? Whereas sometimes people go intensity then technique. I'd be guilty of it too. You throw caution to the wind, you don't throw realistic punches. With him, everything is realistic, so I really liked seeing that, you know?
Yeah. And does that kind of change your perception a little bit of how you need to train, or how you might adapt your training going forward?
Absolutely, 100%, yeah. It would change my idea around kind of doing short bursts on the bag and stuff, and all these little 1% add up, you know. Absolutely. So this was a great one, and this is a fantastic one, and even some holding inside and that. In fairness to him, he doesn't spare on time, giving you time and kind of teaching and bringing it on yourself, you know. You're not there just for him to beat up, you know.
Yeah, that's class. Well, that must be such a relief, because definitely in some camps you hear of sparring stories where guys are brought in just to be essentially punching bags, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it happens, yeah.
Did you get to work with Sugar Hill there when you were there? Or?
He was there. He picked me up for the gym the first day, but then he was off with Lawrence, you know, so I didn't get to work with Sugar Hill. And worked a lot with a guy called Jimmy Harrington. I think he is Tommy Fury's manager. He trains guys like LOGUE. He's heavily involved with the Fury team, Fury camp, and really, really good guy, great guy. He looked after me brilliantly there. He might done my corner, you know, made sure everything was going smoothly for me. So it's great to meet that guy, I have to say.
Class.
One of the good people in boxing now, one of the really good people.
What I find interesting is you're moving around quite a lot, sparring and stuff. You're always around different coaches, new coaches, guys who obviously do things a little bit differently to, say, the way your coach, Pascal Collins, who's just to my right here, might do. How does that work when you go away and you kind of pick things up? How does it work then when you come back to Pascal and you kind of want to, say, put certain things in place, or, you know what I mean, what's Pascal's opinion on you kind of picking up new information, and how does that whole process work?
Pascal's brilliant in the sense that he's so open-minded. If I come to him with an idea, we'll try and apply it to ourselves, you know what I mean? We'll try and work out a way between ourselves to apply it to our training plan, our training program. So I'm delighted to have Pascal on board in that sense, that if I do see something, we bring it back, we'll try it. If it works, fantastic. If it doesn't, no problem. He's open-minded. I know some people are very close-minded and old school. So although he is quite old school in some ways, he's open-minded in that he knows there's still things that can be learned every day and picked up here, there and everywhere, you know. Is
there anything as a heavyweight that, say, you haven't been doing that you think could be good to do? Like things like, something that interests me, and this is a bit technical, but this is the kind of line of question I like, so I'm going to indulge myself. Things like head movement, quick feet, judgment of distance, stuff like that. Sometimes you see, even at a high level in heavyweight, that these things are a little bit lacking. Stuff like that, that's Tyson Fury right there, right? So is that kind of stuff interesting to you? Is that kind of stuff that you want to bring into your game? As a boxer, you're quite a good boxer for a heavyweight, you know what I mean? So is that
absolutely. You know, stylistically, it was a great matchup in that there was plenty for me to learn from. You know, I'm never going to be a bruiser inside fighter.
That you can realistically take.
So I took an awful lot away from him in the sense that, you know, he does things a certain way, even on the bags, the way he starts and finishes a combination. I picked up little things that I can apply and add and even tweak a little little bit to suit myself, you know. So that was fantastic.
Yeah, deadly, man. So let's talk about you. You've been slated for the May 20th card, but you have a fight coming up in the next week or two, or is that still on?
3 weeks today,
3 weeks
April
today.
22nd.
Yeah.
Your call.
Do you have any idea of an opponent?
We have an opponent sorted, yeah.
But there's no name as such?
No name as such, not yet. No, but we have an opponent sorted for the day.
Lovely.
Yeah.
How do you manage yourself and your own kind of mentality and emotions when you have the prospect of a massive fight on May 20th coming up very shortly after your next fight? How do you manage that? Like, obviously things like cuts and stuff must worry you, right?
Yeah, like, you know, with boxing you can get injured, you can get cut walking down the street, like, you know what I mean. There's the same amount of chance. I've been boxing so long, obviously boxing increases your chance of being cut, but like, these are just things that happen. If it happens, it happens, and we'll address it and overcome it. But I don't worry about them because it's something that hasn't happened yet, you know. I do want to run out before May 20th. It's not essential that I get one, but anyone that knows me knows I live the life. I might as well fight as often as I can, you
absolutely
know?
Man, absolutely. If for nothing else as well, you're always getting paid when you're fighting, you're getting that experience.
Yeah,
there's multiple things.
I'm not, just note this, I'm not fighting for the financial side of things. I'm fighting because I want to run up my numbers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to get more numbers on the record and progress on to bigger and better titles. Like, I want to win this hopefully Celtic title on May 20th,
yeah,
and then hopefully move on from May 20th then and get the Irish in then.
So we're looking at maybe Jay Mcfarlane for the Celtic title. Was that a surprise to you when he kind of made a little video, or was there rumblings of that in the background beforehand? And what do you make of that fight? We obviously had I know your opinion on that fight, but what do you make of that? And is it realistically going to come off for May 20th?
Listen, it looks like he's accepting. It looks like he's going for it. I hope he takes it. I hope he does sign for it. I hope it's not all just smoke. We put that fight out for everybody, you know. We would have put that fight out for everybody that qualified for a Celtic title and would have started top of the list. I can imagine we would have put it to Nick Campbell. I don't think Nick Campbell is too interested, so we go for the next in line then, which is Jay Mcfarlane. So fair play if it is true. I haven't heard anything confirmed from my side, so we're hoping then that it's not all smoke. But yeah, roll on. I'm ready. I don't even need to train, you know what I mean? I'm ready. I've been ready, you know. I've been training since I turned pro. I've been training since lockdown. You know, I don't need no camp or anything like this.
You're kind of always in camp.
I'm always in camp. Yeah, anybody that knows I'm always training. So I hope he trains. If he is fighting, I hope he's training.
Yeah, absolutely. How does that fight go?
Yeah, be a good fight. Yeah, good. We'll see. I don't want to entertain the fight if it's not going to happen yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Once I see confirmed match and put up that the two of us are fighting, I'll give my opinion on it. But like, I'm sure anybody watching this is gonna. I've sparred Nick multiple times. Yeah, we put the fight to Nick.
All right.
Nick and Jay went life and death. Nick came out on top. People will make their own opinion of the fight for now. I'll give my opinion shortly, but like, yeah, looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Should be a good night, short night.
Okay, there you go. We got something small. Is it overdue in your opinion? I mean, you don't have that many fights as a pro yet, but are you kind of overdue, say, a bit of a name, a bit of a kind of an interesting matchup?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm overdue kind of an interesting matchup at this stage. One that gets the people talking, one that people might know, they might have a clue who the other guy is, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Boxing people might know, the public won't know, but boxing people might know, and he might bring a bit of fun, the press conference and stuff like that, get people talking. But at the end of the day, I box for the boxing side of things. I'm very serious about what I do. These are stepping stones, and that's what it is a stepping stone.
Yeah,
you know,
fair.
I have 4 fights. I think the guy I looked at record might have 20 odd fights. Do you think we'd be entertaining a fight like that if it wasn't one that I could win in my sleep? You know what I mean? So, a stepping stone, more for the occasion, and fair play if he does take the fight. Thank you, because you know you give me a chance to showcase my skills in front of everybody at the Tree Arena.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just have a quick word on. We're here for the return of Jason Quigley at the National Stadium. Quick word on the card. You're obviously down supporting your teammate Daniel O'Sullivan, who I believe is first out on the card, first or second anyway. What do you make of the whole card? How excited are you to see professional boxing back in Dublin? And then also a quick word on your teammate Daniel O'Sullivan.
So first of all, for the card, I'm delighted to see boxing back. Like, there's so many big names here, big faces here as we were warming up in the warm-up room here. It's great to see. It's great to kind of kick off. I don't know whether has there been any shows in Ireland this year.
Not yet.
Not yet. So kicking off
this month's mad.
a huge year, absolutely huge year. So I'm delighted for everybody. I'm delighted for everyone getting an opportunity to box in this card back at the stadium, and hopefully it snowballs into bigger and better things, more regular shows, bigger attendance at the shows, you know, more media attention at the shows, you know. So delighted, absolutely delighted. Then in terms of Daniel, apart from myself, obviously, is the hardest working fighter in the gym. He might even rival me for that. Might be closer than I think. But delighted for Daniel to get a chance to showcase his skills. You know, Daniel's one of the hardest working people in the gym. He's always there, always ready, always sparring, you know. Even when there's nothing coming up, he's a true professional like myself. Doesn't need a fight to stay in camp and stay in shape. So I'm delighted for him to get an opportunity for his second fight, and buzzing to see what he can do. I think he might have a little decent bit of a test tonight, you know, decent opponent for his second fight. But it shows the calibre of person that he is, taking fights like this in his second fight.
Absolutely.
I know a lot of people wouldn't entertain a record like he's fighting against tonight. So, like I said, shows the calibre of person and the calibre of fighter that he is.
Absolutely, man. Listen, I'm going to leave it there because we've just done 11 minutes, and I know you're kind of in a relaxed mode.
You're going to have to pay me.
Yeah. We'll never pay you, man. Listen, Thomas Carty, thanks very much for talking to IrishBoxing.com. As usual, appreciate it, brother, and have a good night.